Did you know Florida has underwater caves where ancient fossils literally rain down from the ceiling? Or a lake that once built up so much gas pressure it exploded like a volcano? From giant sinkholes that swallow entire streets, to mysterious lights in the Everglades, to animals you'd never expect to find in the US. Florida is full of bizarre stories that sound completely unreal. Get ready for 50 of the wildest, strangest, and most unbelievable facts about the Sunshine State. And trust me, you won't believe number 1. Fact 50. Florida is home to more freshwater springs than anywhere else in the world, with over 700 bubbling up every day. These springs push out hundreds of millions of gallons of water, creating crystal-clear rivers that stay 72 degrees Fahrenheit year-round. Many are ancient geological formations carved over millions of years. Fact 49. Yeehaw Junction sits at the meeting point of 3 separate habitats: the pine flatwoods, dry prairie, and marshland. It's more crossroads than town, with only about 200 residents. For travelers, it feels like stepping into a forgotten outpost surrounded by wild, untouched nature. Fact 48. The Aquarius Reef base off Key Largo is the world's only permanent undersea research lab, where scientists live and work underwater for days at a time. It allows researchers to observe marine life around the clock. Missions here have included NASA analog training for astronauts. Fact 47. The Everglades stretches far, because before urbanization, the Everglades extended north all the way to Orlando. Now, efforts are underway to restore what's lost. Restoration projects aim to revive ancient water flow patterns. It's one of the largest ecological reconstruction efforts on Earth. Fact 46. Florida is the only place where alligators and crocodiles naturally share the same habitat in the wild. They meet in the brackish waters of the Everglades. Nowhere else on Earth do the two prehistoric reptiles overlap. Fact 45. Parts of Miami are sinking due to overdevelopment. The ground is subsiding by centimeters each year, putting buildings at risk. Combined with rising seas, the city is fighting a race against time. Engineers are studying ways to elevate roads and create pump systems to counteract the sinking. Fact 44. Flamingo, a town deep in the Everglades, was mostly abandoned after multiple hurricanes wiped it out. Today, only foundations and skeleton structures remain. The National Park Service maintains a visitor center there, but it still feels like a forgotten place reclaimed by nature. Fact 43. Lake Apopka once literally exploded. Methane produced by decomposing organic matter led to flammable bubbles that could ignite. Pollution and algae blooms made the lake one of the most toxic in the state. Restoration is ongoing to bring the lake back to life. Fact 42. Between Tampa and Orlando is Lightning Alley, one of the world's most active lightning strike zones, with up to 35 bolts per square kilometer every year. Summer storms can form out of nowhere in minutes. Pilots avoid the area during peak storm season. Fact 41. The Everglades spans 1.5 million acres, making it the largest subtropical wilderness in the United States. It's home to unique wildlife like the Florida panther and snail kite. Many species here can't be found anywhere else in the world. Fact 40. Florida's underwater caves in places like Peacock Springs include more than 28,000 feet of explored passageways. These caves attract divers globally, though they are extremely dangerous. Some of the passages are still unmapped, making them an explorer's dream.
That was really amazing. Wow, how long do you think it would take to explore all of the caves here at Peacock?
Fact 39. Some Florida beaches, like those along the Indian River Lagoon, glow in the dark from bioluminescent plankton. When waves crash or swimmers move, the water lights up bright blue. It's one of the most stunning natural light shows in America. Fact 38. Wakulla Springs is one of the deepest and clearest freshwater springs in the world. It's also the endpoint of a massive underwater cave system stretching miles underground. Divers continue to discover new branches of the system to this day. Fact 37. Miami's Dodge and Star Islands were created from dredged mud and debris during the 1920s land boom. Today, they host multi-million-dollar mansions and celebrities. The islands stand as reminders of one of the biggest real estate manias in Florida's history. Fact 36. We hope this isn't a bummer for you, but Miami Beach is largely man-made, with sand brought in to fight erosion. Constant upkeep is needed because storms wash the sand away. Importing sand has become a multi-million-dollar necessity each decade. Fact 35. Florida sits atop a giant limestone aquifer that stores 1.2 trillion gallons of water a year. This porous rock acts like a natural sponge that filters rainwater. It's one of the largest aquifer systems in the world. Fact 34. Panhandle beaches have famously white sand because it eroded from the Appalachian Mountains. Over thousands of years, rivers carried the quartz grains south to Florida's coast. The result? Some of the whitest beaches in the world. The pure white quartz reflects sunlight so effectively that the sand stays cool even on scorching summer days. This same sand makes beaches like Pensacola and Destin glow and attracts millions of visitors annually. Fact 33. Central Florida has rare scrub habitats that look like deserts, with drought-resistant plants. These are among the oldest ecosystems in North America. Many endangered species rely on them to survive. Check out the Florida scrub jay, found nowhere else on Earth. It's adapted perfectly to this harsh environment. Fact 32. Topsail Hill. Preserve has dunes over 25 feet tall, constantly reshaped by wind and waves. The cool part? These dunes act like natural storm barriers. Their size surprises many visitors who think Florida is completely flat. Some dunes in the preserve reach heights comparable to 3-story buildings. Fact 31. Florida's barrier islands are always moving. Storms erode sand from one shoreline and deposit it on another. In some areas, entire islands have shifted miles over just a few centuries. This constant movement makes building permanent structures on barrier islands a risky proposition. Fact 30. Florida's landscape may be flat, but its geological history is far from boring. Signs of volcanic activity lie deep beneath Florida's limestone foundation. These ancient eruptions left behind pockets of igneous rock. Geologists occasionally discover these surprise volcanic rocks during deep drilling projects. Fact 29. The St. Johns River, here, flows north across the state before reaching the Atlantic. North-flowing rivers are rare, making this one of Florida's quirkiest waterways. The river's slow flow has shaped ecosystems. At just a 1-inch drop per mile, it's one of the laziest rivers in America. During winter, this gentle flow creates perfect conditions for manatees, which gather in the river's warm springs. Fact 28. Venice Beach. Florida is famous for fossilized shark teeth findings along its shore. Ocean currents and ancient fossil deposits make it a treasure hunter's paradise. Collectors can find teeth from extinct species like the massive Megalodon, which could grow to 60 feet long. Fact 27. The powerful Gulf Stream current originates just off Florida's coast, helping fuel Atlantic hurricanes during storm season. It then travels north, warming the climate of cities as far as London. Without Florida, Europe would be much colder. This massive river within the ocean moves at speeds up to 4 miles per hour and carries more water than all Earth's rivers combined. Fact 26. The Florida Barrier Reef is the only living coral reef in the continental United States. Stretching 350 miles, it acts as a natural shield protecting the coastline. It also supports an enormous array of marine life. Over 500 species of fish and 40 species of coral call this reef home. Unfortunately, climate change and warming waters threaten its survival. Fact 25. In some underwater caves, fossil bones rain down from the ceiling during storms, offering clues about prehistoric animals and ancient climate cycles. Divers describe it as an underwater museum frozen in time. You can check it out in cave systems like Devil's Den and Ginny Springs that preserve these ancient treasures in remarkable condition. Fact 24. Florida was once home to giant ground sloths standing 20 feet tall, saber-toothed cats, and mastodons. Their fossils are found in places like Vero Beach in Peace River, Florida, was basically a real-life Ice Age movie set. The state's rivers and stream beds continue to yield new fossil discoveries, with amateur hunters finding treasures after heavy rains. Fact 23. Florida's deep geology includes hidden evidence of ancient volcanic eruptions. These ancient fire mountains existed long before Florida's landmass was recognizable. Today, only mineral traces remain buried deep underground. Fact 22. Florida's climate is shaped by the Atlantic Ocean, the Gulf of Mexico, and the Caribbean Sea. This three-way influence makes weather dramatic, unpredictable, and fast-changing storms can form, intensify, and disappear all in the same afternoon. The peninsula's unique position means a sunny morning in Miami can give way to afternoon thunderstorms within hours. And due to these colliding weather systems, lightning strikes are more than common. Fact 21. Lake Apopka's history of emitting explosive methane gas continues to be one of Florida's strangest environmental tales. The lake's decline was caused by decades of pollution from farms and factories. At its worst, the lake's pollution killed thousands of birds and decimated fish populations. Cleanup efforts are ongoing. Restoration projects have helped, but returning the lake to its former glory remains a massive challenge. Fact 20. 1/3 of Florida was once covered by wetlands. Now less than half survive rapid development, drained vast areas for agriculture and housing. Today, conservationists are racing to save what remains. The Everglades alone has lost more than half its original size. These wetlands once filtered water, controlled flooding, and provided habitat for countless species. Fact 19. Silver Springs launched glass-bottom boat tours as early as the 1870s. Millions of gallons of crystal-clear water flow from the spring every day. It became one of the earliest tourist attractions in Florida. The spring water is so clear you can see as far as 100 feet deep. Hollywood even used Silver Springs as a filming location for early Tarzan movies in the 1930s and 1940s. Fact 18. Artificial lakes created for flood control turned into alligator hotspots. Florida has an estimated 1.3 million gators, and many love these warm, calm waters. These artificial habitats provide perfect conditions for gators. Shallow water, abundant prey, and minimal current. Wildlife officials receive thousands of calls each year about nuisance alligators in neighborhoods, golf courses, and even swimming pools. Fact 17. After Alaska, Florida has more islands than any other U.S. state. Over 4,500 larger than 10 acres. Many of these are uninhabited and wild. They're crucial nesting sites for coastal birds. Fact 16. Florida's high water table means most homes can't have basements. Dig just a few feet and you'll hit groundwater. It's one reason hurricanes can cause such severe flooding. Fact 15. Over half of Florida's beaches are classified as critically eroded. The state spends millions on sand renourishment each year. Without intervention, many beaches would disappear entirely. Fact 14. South Florida is built on ancient fossilized coral reefs. This fossil rock forms the literal foundation for cities like Miami. In some areas, you can still see coral patterns in exposed limestone. Fact 13. Lake Okeechobee is the largest lake in the state, but averages only 9 feet deep. If drained, you could walk across it. Its shallow depth makes it extremely vulnerable to storms and pollution. Fact 12. A 50,000-year-old cypress forest was discovered underwater near Sarasota. Preserved in near-perfect condition, it's one of the oldest submerged forests on Earth. Scientists think storms uncovered it after centuries of burial. Fact 11. Over 700 springs help fuel Florida's multi-billion-dollar tourism industry. Visitors come from around the world to swim, snorkel, and kayak in the clear water. Some springs release so much water they form full rivers. Fact 10. Florida's porous limestone means the ground is constantly shifting. Dissolving rock creates new cavities, springs, and sinkholes. Sometimes entire streets or homes vanish overnight. Fact 9. The Everglades is one of the world's only fire-dependent wetlands. Natural lightning-sparked fires clear out old vegetation and make way for new growth. Without fires, the ecosystem would collapse. Fact 8. Florida has no volcanic lava tubes, but its limestone caves mimic their twisting shapes. These caves stretch for miles underground, carved by groundwater. Explorers compare them to underwater mazes. Fact 7. Florida has more coastline than any state except Alaska. 1,350 miles of sunny beaches. That number doubles if you count tidal shorelines. No wonder it's one of the top beach destinations in the world. Fact 6. Florida has both tropical and humid subtropical climate zones. That's why coconut palms grow in the south, while pine forests dominate the north. The diverse climates help support hundreds of unique species. Fact 5. Kissimmee Prairie Preserve is so vast and flat, you can literally see the curve of the Earth. It's one of the best stargazing sites in the southeast. Rarebirds like the crested caracara thrive here. Fact 4. Britton Hill, the state's tallest point, sits at just 345 feet above sea level. That makes Florida the flattest state in the entire U.S. Even Kansas and Nebraska have more dramatic elevation. Fact 3. Florida sits atop one of the world's largest phosphate deposits, supplying about 75% of America's phosphate and 25% globally. This mineral, formed from ancient marine organisms, is essential for fertilizers that feed billions. The mining region in central Florida, known as Bone Valley, earned its name from these deposits unearthed during excavation. Florida's phosphate industry generates billions in economic impact while literally helping to feed the world. Fact 2. Parts of the state are sinking due to natural subsidence and rising sea levels. Miami is considered one of the most vulnerable cities on the planet. Scientists estimate billions of dollars will be needed for future flood defenses. Fact 1. Florida manatees gather at the warm outflows of coastal power plants during winter. Cold water can be deadly for these gentle giants. The power plants provide a life-saving refuge until spring arrives. So there you have it. 50 mind-blowing facts that prove Florida is so much more than beaches and theme parks. From ancient volcanoes buried beneath limestone to sand that traveled 1,000 miles from the Appalachian Mountains, the Sunshine State is packed with geological wonders and hidden surprises. Subscribe and drop a comment below to let us know which fact surprised you the most, or share your own hidden Florida discovery. How about some facts about Texas?